Hello, Broomfield Heights students, families, and caregivers. Welcome to the 2021 8th grade continuation. We're excited to be here today, and we're excited to have you joining us from home. As I reflect back on this year, there's all kinds of things that we could talk about, but one thing that sticks out to me is as we move forward and come out of this pandemic, I ask that each and every one of you be kind to the people that you interact with. We have no idea the overall impact that this may or may not have had, and your kindness can have a positive impact. So please join me in knowing that moving forward, the kinder we are, the better we're going to be. Today is an opportunity for us to celebrate you, and at this time, I'm going to invite up Ms. Hinkle to come up and say a few words.
Thanks, Mr. Van Gordon. All right. Here we are, 8th graders. This is your continuation. I'm beyond thrilled to be here, in this room with you today, whether you are physically with me or watching this from home. On March 13th, 2020, none of us would have predicted the course we have taken over the last year, and finally, here you sit. Thinking back to my own middle school years, specifically 8th grade, my fondest memories are with me and my friends. You might not know it, but I also have some good memories of me performing the can-can and singing a duet in French at the school talent show. While you have certainly not had the ability to spend time with your peers as you would have liked under normal circumstances, I hope that you can still tuck away some fond memories that you'll look back on with a smile. I am certain that you are all experiencing a range of emotions in this moment. Relief that you have made it to this point, sadness that your middle school career is ending, or sadness at the way that it is ending. Everything that you are feeling in this moment is exactly what you should be feeling. I want to validate every emotion that you've had over the past year and a half. This has not been easy. There is no way around that. But on this exciting day, I want to shift our thinking to focus on what is right in the world. One of my favorite keynote speakers, DeWitt Jones, talks about changing your lens and changing your life. He was a photographer for the National Geographic and found that focusing on a different perspective can open a whole new world of possibilities. Take a moment to think about the world of possibilities that the pandemic has had to offer. You have all done amazing work, and by all, I mean you, 8th graders. I also mean your teachers and the BHMS staff. I also mean your parents and guardians. We have worked together as a team and as a community to really pull through. 8th graders, think for a moment about someone who's been instrumental in supporting you through this year. Really, I actually want you to think of a name. For me, it is my husband and my daughter. Next time you see this person, I want you to tell them how much they've meant to you and how much they have supported you. Or feel free to call them and let them know if you're not going to see them anytime soon. Make sure you tell the people in your life what they mean to you. When I was a teacher, every year I would share Mrs. Hinkle's tips for success with my students. One of those tips was to write thank you notes. More often than not, we don't take the opportunity to say a simple thank you. When I reflect on this year, I think about how much we have all grown. I've certainly learned to be more flexible, and I'm sure that's true of many of us. 8th graders, what have you learned this year that you want to carry forward? Again, really identify a thought in your head. What do you want to carry forward? Make a mental note of this, and don't forget what you're committing to in this moment. There is no doubt this year will be one that you will never forget. One of the most unforgettable things, I think, is that there was so much that was out of our control, so many unknowns. No matter what you face from this point forward, one thing is for certain. The one thing in life that you can control is your attitude and how you respond to difficult situations. I've seen you this year responding to a life-changing pandemic. You've adapted. You've learned new and invaluable technology skills. You've rolled up your sleeves and gotten your work done. Or maybe you haven't gotten all your work done that you would have liked, but now you know more about yourself as a learner. You've asked for help when you've needed it. And again, maybe you didn't, but now you know where you could have. It's absolutely true that we have new skills, and I'm sure you know yourself a little bit better than you did before. As you move forward into high school, I challenge you to focus on your attitude and respond to all that life throws at you in a way that will have a positive impact on you and those around you. 8th graders, I'm so proud to be here to share this exciting milestone with you, to wish you well as you enter the next chapter of your life. I'm so proud of each of you. I wish you all the very best. Keep dreaming, Falcons.
All right, each year we have an opportunity for a couple of your classmates to come up and speak. So at this time, I'd like to invite Bao up to come and say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor to have been bestowed this opportunity where I can speak my mind to my fellow classmates. The time we've spent here in middle school has been eventful, to say the least. When you first came here, we had an idea of middle school being an exhilarating experience where we'd make great memories. That was about as truthful to reality as any movie that's ever been based on a book. Nevertheless, I've genuinely enjoyed my time at this school, and I look back fondly on my memories from here. During these years that we spent here, we faced many hardships, from a global pandemic which kept us at home for months on end, to facial acne. But despite these arduous times, we fought through them, and we can finally say that we've made it. We're finally spending our last day at this school, and we're moving on to a new journey. I envision the transition from middle school to high school being like getting your car unstuck from the mud and then getting it stuck on a sandy beach. But despite high school being inevitably the sequel to the stress-inducing time that was middle school, we'll be semi-prepared for what's to come. The experiences that we've gone through have helped us to develop as humans and to be prepared for this next stage of our lives. All of the painfully tedious assignments that we've done have mentally prepared us for all the ones that are sure to follow. All of the romantic relationships that have started and ended faster than the lifespan of a rat have prepared us for all the future heartbreaks that we might go through. With this continuation of the high school, many of us will decide to continue the same habits that we've grown accustomed to. Changing one's ways is hard, but I think that as we continue to grow as humans, we should look at ourselves and recognize that we are all capable of doing better. We all have had bad habits that we can make an effort to change. Many of us have a lackadaisical attitude when it comes to education, which is understandable. Even the best teacher can make sex ed an interesting lesson. However, the decisions we make in high school will be far more important than those in middle school. The grades you get or the opportunities you take on will have a larger effect on your life. In the following years, I hope you take action on what you aspire to do. We are still young and we have years ahead of us. We haven't gone to the age where our future has been cemented and we are bound in responsibilities. We have the ability to make changes to our lives and do what we seek to do. These following years will be some of the most important, stressful, and unpredictable ones in your life. And they're also going to be the best times to start taking action in your life and take the steps you need to achieve your goals. Whether they be big dreams or small accomplishments, we are all capable of doing something.
Nicely done, Bao. At this time, Taylor Edmonds, if you would come up and share a few words with us.
Okay, hi everyone. Okay, good afternoon, students, staff, and guardians. To start off, I wanted to acknowledge how incredibly strange this year has been. We've not only gone through a global pandemic, but we've also experienced the most awkward stage in life, puberty. Well, at least most of us have. As we look back upon this year, I think we can all agree that there was not a lot of victory against defeat. But even with all of these bumps in the road, we have not only shown determination, but perseverance. Moving on to the next 4 years of our lives, we'll be thrown some big challenges. So we should appreciate and learn from this time and continue to stay strong forever on. I've spent the last 3 years under the impression that middle school is a never-ending adventure. But as I stand in front of you all, I realize now that I was wrong. It does end. There's a universal truth we all have to face. Everything eventually ends. As much as I've looked forward to this day, I've always disliked endings. The last day of summer, the end of lunch, and of course, the end of an amazing series, especially when they leave you on a cliffhanger. But unfortunately, endings are inevitable. Leaves fall, you say goodbye, you close the door. And no, that is not a lyric from a Taylor Swift song. Today is one of those days for us. Today we say goodbye to everything that is familiar, everything that was comfortable, and everything that is a part of our history now. But just because we are leaving, it doesn't mean that this is our ending as a whole. It is merely the ending of this chapter in our lives, for we soon will start the next. It seems a little scary, but considering what we've been through in this year alone, high school is going to be a piece of cake. Middle school has taught us many lessons that we will carry on throughout our lives. A few lessons I've learned this year include how to cheat, how to lie, and lastly, how to play wall ball, a game where you literally throw a ball at a wall for entertainment, in case you didn't get that from the title. No, I'm kidding. What I really have learned, aside from the content served to us by our amazing teachers this year, is not to take things for granted, or as most people like to call them, the little things in life. This includes time with friends, time with loved ones, and oddly enough, time at school. When I was told that we were getting an extra week of spring break, I was thrilled. Little did I know I wouldn't be coming back to school until a year later. I truly did miss school. I miss my friends, in-person learning, and I miss being normal. When I came back to school, I was so excited because for the first time in a really long time, I got something back that I never knew I would miss. Not everything was normal, of course, but I got to experience a little bit of my last year in middle school, and I will forever be grateful for that. This is an important lesson because when you have something that seems so meaningless and small compared to your other problems, that little something can so easily be taken away from you. And when it is, you might regret not noticing its worth. It's a horrible feeling that everyone has to face in their lives, but now that we've learned this lesson, we can truly appreciate and admire those little things, even if it is just about a ball being thrown at a wall. When I was asked what I thought defined our class, I was stumped a little bit. I haven't seen or caught up with most of you since last year, and people change over time, so it's a little tricky to have a solid answer to this question. When I think of our class, I think of a memory I have from 6th grade. One day at lunch, it had happened to be Cody Jones's birthday. As our table started to sing happy birthday to him, the entire lunchroom joined us. Most of you had no idea who you were singing to. You just did it out of the decency of your heart. Or you might have just done it to get a cookie from him, but either way, you still did it. From that day forward, it became a tradition. It didn't matter who you were singing to or if you liked the person or not, you just sang to them because it was the norm. This is one of the most purest moments we share together. This moment really does define our class because we show that we are a whole no matter what the circumstances. We really are a family even if we aren't fond of each other that much. When something goes wrong, yell plot twist and move on, a quote by Miss Molly West. The significance of this quote is that we are expected to change, but we must take the high road, persevere, and adapt with the curves. All of us has had to adapt in so many ways this year. In this time, however, we managed to advance and grow in so many ways. It hasn't been easy, but guys, we made it. Now that I've stated these two qualities, you might ask, well, how do they relate in any way? The short answer to this question is that they don't. But if you think about it deeper though, they do have a similar minor trait to them. That is strength. And by that, I don't mean physical strength, but mental. Adapting to a new environment is super hard, and it takes a lot of mental capacity and time to accept and appreciate the change. Just imagine your mom takes away your phone because you didn't clean the dishes. You're probably upset about this, but that little voice in your head tells you that you shouldn't lash out. You can think of this as the bad voice on one shoulder and the good voice on the other shoulder. Sometimes the bad voice overcomes your mind, and it takes a lot of mental strength to listen to that good voice. So how purity and adaptability relate is through mental strength. Our class shares plenty of mental strength, which in the end truly defines our class. Class of 2025, we're pretty awesome. As we go off to high school, a goal that we should make for ourselves is to hold on to the strength, the memories, and the lessons middle school taught us. I can only hope and urge you to continue to strive throughout high school and throughout the rest of your life. Today we close the door to our past and open the door to our future. We shall take a deep breath, step on through, and start the next chapter of our lives. Again, that's not from a Taylor Swift song, I promise. It has been an honor to be able to speak in front of you all today, to not only congratulate you, but to motivate you as a group to make the best out of these next few years. I can't wait to make more memories with you. And as always, set your goals high and forever dream big.
Thank you, Taylor. So at this time is when we recognize each of you as individual students. So I would like to invite up Ms. McCann, and we will be reading each student's name. As a reminder, please hold your applause until the end of the section.
Hello, I am Ms. McCann. I'm one of the school counselors here at BHMS. It is my pleasure to recognize the BHMS 8th grade class of 2021. As a reminder, please stand when I call your name and remain standing until we finish calling all the names in your zone. Lily Adams. Sophie Adams. Maha Al-Juhani. Layli Alvarez. Miguel Amaya. Tessa Ambrose. Addison Anderson. Ariana Anderson. Julian Anderson. Mason Anderson. Catherine Applegate. Brooklyn Arensdorf. Ashlyn Barrowcliff. Rylan Barch. Burke Beecher. Liam Becker. Miley Glenman. Samuel Glenman. Shane Blicker. Zoe Bonsante Houston. Malachi Britton. Dylan Brophy. Adelaide Browning. Augie Bruner. Gavin Brunson. Ethan Burke. Belate Carwin. Bianca Castillo.
All right, you guys may be seated. Eduardo Cerceda Castaneda. Jonathan Charpentier. Lexi Chinowin. Mason Cisneros. Heather Clark. Phineas Cohen. Addison Colangelo. Trinity Cook. Neela Cook. Owen Cooper. Angel Cruz. Brooklyn Cummings. Paul Curtis. Graham Dean. Lillian Delaney. Calvin DeMille. Guillermo Dominguez Rascon. Ainsley East. Taylor Edmonds. Nick Edmonds. Lila Enright. Melania Epstein. Liliana Escalante. Wendy Escalante Mendez. Andrea Escobar Rodezno. Lucy Evans. Julia Fairley. Scarlett Farnham. All right, you may be seated.
Brenna Flaherty. Joseph Frenzel. Ashlyn Fritchell. Anderson Fuentes Medina. Justin Gomez. Elise Graves. Mason Gray. Avery Gray. Taylor Green. Jacob Brine. Jillian Hahn. Zoe Hansen, Rylan Harris, Selena Hayes, Elijah Hawley, Dylan Heidemann, Caleb Henderson, Elabelle Higgins, Griffin Horn, JT Hunyadi, Aiden Hurst Brem, Josephine Jacobson, Maya Jasa, Cody Jones, Ariana Jones, Ethan Kalish, Blaze Kane, Connor Kermity, Serenity Kang, Tyler King, Matthew King, Mason Kish, Trinity Klein,
Corwin Knowlton, Kayla Coinzen, Tiara Kolubu, Asher Corin Zoloto, Sarah Corin Zoloto, Evan Kulstad, Joseph Larson, Elliot Less, Patience Lee, Audrey Lindquist,
Sophia Lipisak, Ashlyn Listy, Garrett Lowry, Caitlin Lund, Juliana Mahan Quick, Griffin Mahoney, Chloe Mann, Taylor Martinez, Kamani Matthews, Nolan Mathis, Malachi McCormick, Caitlin McKee, Maria Mosley, Marcus Montoya, Abigail Moore, Bo Morales, Adeline Moreno, Rochelle Morgan, Michaela Neal, Jack Nelson, Aubrey Nelson, Addison Noland, Liam O'Brien, Caleb Oakley, Alfonso Orhel Torres, Ana E. Ortiz, Maya Autumn, Victoria Perez, Aaron Perovich, Bao Pham, Molly Rydell, Zach Rydell. All right, you may be seated.
Sophia Rivera, Layla Robinson, Lucas Ralston, Alyssa Romero, Alexander Roth, Preston Rule, Priya Saha, Joshua Schmickpepper, Madison Seeley, Cooper Seeley, Tyson Segura, Logan Sellers, Paige Sellers, Zoe Smith, Ava Sandra, Devin Stagel, Madison Steinmetz, Sophia Tabert, Ayana Taylor, Sophia Teschendorf, Chloe Tien, Feliciana Trujillo, Timu Sering, Tashi Sultan, Leela Turnpaw, Garrett Vale, Chelsea Valdez, Landon Van Zandt, Paulina Barra, Dominic Wade, Adrian Ward, Ethan White, Jacob Wyatt, Kaylin Xian, Josiah Zavala.
Alrighty, 8th graders, let's give each other one more big round of applause. Congratulations. And as we wrap up, I want to give one more shout out to our students who are home learners. If you're not here with us today, just one more shout out to you all. Great work this year. Congratulations to you as well. And to our parents and caregivers and our staff. Thank you all for all your hard work. Let's give your teachers a big round of applause, students. Thank you, everybody. All right, wonderful work 8th graders. To those of you watching at home, thank you for joining us. The recorded version will be sent out soon. We're going to go ahead and sign off the live version because the logistics of dismissal are not going to be something you probably want to watch. So thank you to everybody at home. 8th graders that are